You're out shopping for DSCR loans. You're reviewing loan estimates. And you keep on seeing these higher rates from these DSCR lenders. Why is that? Why can I go to my local bank or credit union and get a conventional loan and the interest rate is substantially lower? If you were the lender, and more too, because DSCR lenders look at only one thing: the underlying asset, the property, and how well it performs. Stay tuned. We'll walk you through that, take a look at some underwriting conditions, but better yet, just explain the difference between the two types of loans, what you can and can't do, and why there's differences in pricing. So let's get to it. The difference between DSCR loans and conventional loans at your local bank or credit union. DSCR lenders are not underwriting to your income. They're underwriting to the actual asset, the property. That is why we have a DSCR ratio. That tells them how stable the actual property is compared to the debt servicing. When you go conventional, they don't have a ratio. They're looking at your income against how much the debt is, and now you've got debt to income ratio. The difference between DSCR and conventional is going to boil down to rate. And the reason why rates are higher on DSCR loans versus conventional is simply because they're only looking at the physical asset. When you do a conventional loan with your bank or your credit union, they're asking for your tax returns, they're asking for your pay stubs, they're asking for your bank statements. They are asking for your full personal history. They are also looking at what else is on your credit bureau. They're looking at, do you have other mortgages? The bank or credit union is really trying to hedge their bet on this deal to make sure it is clean and they can underwrite it to conventional guidelines. Period. That's it. If they cannot, they're going to wipe their hands of you and say, hasta la pasta, and we're moving on. If you're looking to scale 3, 4, 5, 6 properties or more, DSCR loans are the way to go. And I'll tell you guys, just like I've said in prior videos, if you're only going to have 2 or 3 properties at a time, conventional loan all day long. Better rate to where you can go walk into your loan officer there or your branch manager, how big, depending on how big the branch is, to where you can have a personal conversation with him or her about how you need to get a loan for a property that you're trying to shop for. Challenges: once you get to a certain point, you're capped out. The whole story is you still have to underwrite the deal, and if the borrower's debt to income ratio meets a threshold, typically 40%, 42%, I don't know much higher they would go, they're tapped out. Conventional loans, 2 to 3, maybe 4 on the outside. DSCR, you really don't have any cap other than, can you make the property flow? Cash flow, that is. And the other piece on DSCR loans, if you're not hitting a DSCR ratio of 1.25 or higher, you need to go somewhere else, because the market is fluctuating on a daily basis. And if you can't cover your expenses on a monthly basis with the rent, what are you in the business for? Why do you want to continue to lose money? Why do you want to write a check out of your pocket? Makes no sense. You got in the business to make money, not to lose it. So don't fall in love with the deal. And by all means, DSCR loans are not the end-all be-all. They are just another tool in your toolbox to use. Are there more fees attached to DSCR loans? Yes. There's underwriting fees, there's funding fees, there's LLC fees, there are background check fees. There are all types of fees that these lenders charge. It's just part of doing business. I can't control what they actually charge, because everything I cannot. I can only control box A, upper left-hand side. Everything else is cost of doing business as a real estate investor. Secondly, guys, DSCR lenders. The entry point to this game is your credit score. Higher credit score, better interest rate, more leverage. If you're struggling with your credit score and you're in the 6s or in the 5s, it's going to be hard to get a DSCR loan done. You may be able to go to your local bank. They could probably go down to 620, 580, depending on how they underwrite their conventional loans. So you might have a possibility there. But if you're struggling on the credit front for either product, you need to get the debt paid off, make sure that you're getting things brought current, and bring your score back up before you actually decide to jump into a deal, because that'll save you thousands of dollars over the life of your loan because you're going to get the best rate possible. I can tell you from the DSCR lenders, when you've got a credit score that's in the 6s versus in the 7s, you're paying anywhere on a low end of 25 basis points all the way up to 100 basis points more. So why continue to do that when you can take some time and get your credit right? Or if you're buying an LLC, have your partner be the personal guarantor of it. So then you can actually work on your credit, still get access to the deal, not lose it, move forward. Another piece, conventional versus DSCR. Conventional loans written are going to be reported to your credit bureau. Period. End of story. Hard stop. DSCR lenders, you're closing it in LLC. They're not reporting it to the credit bureaus. And I'm going to hear brokers tell me I'm wrong. Great. Tell me I'm wrong. The lenders I work with, I pick them out very specifically because they do not report to the credit bureau. The only time they're going to report to the credit bureau is when they are past due, typically 90 days past due, or foreclosure, unfortunately. Another benefit, conventional versus DSCR, and again, it's not one-sided, guys. We talked about it earlier, rate. Rate on the conventional loan at your local bank and credit union is going to be substantially lower. So if you are already low on your DSCR ratio, maybe going conventional on this deal makes sense to where it keeps you in play at the 1.25. But if you go over to the DSCR side and you get that higher rate and it drops you down to 1.09, if you're not self-managing and not being able to put any type of reserves away for any type of problems going forward, you basically have wiped out all your money. You're making zero money. You're going to be paying out of pocket. So take a look at that. The rate will impact your DSCR ratio. Another piece. We talked about it earlier. Fees are very light on your local bank credit union because they are underwriting, they're carrying the deal, and then they're going to sell it off. Your DSCR lender, they're taking the risk. They're not going through your personal income, your personal assets, and they're going to charge those additional fees. Are some of those fees on the DSCR side garbage? Yes. And you potentially can get some of them reduced or wiped out. There are some that are just too much. There's a couple lenders I will not go back to on the DSCR side that have a $2,200 to $2,300 underwriting fee. That's crazy. There is no way you need to have $2,300 on a deal to underwrite it. Typical in this space, $1,195 to $1,595 on a high end. Outside of that, there should be no reason why they're much higher. And when I asked that lender, they couldn't tell me, just saying that's what the number was set at and it's take it or leave it. And they were not just charging that underwriting fee. They were charging an LLC fee, a background fee, and a funding fee. So all in, we were north of $3,000 just in that, and just in the lender fee. So look at that, guys. $3,000 versus you might have a small underwriting fee from your local bank or maybe not. Be cognizant of that and how that actually plays into your deal. Otherwise, you're just paying out the nose for fees that you don't need to pay for. And lastly, guys, if you're working with a broker on the DSCR side, ask these 3 questions. How many loans have they closed in the last 12 to 24 months that are DSCR related? So you know you have somebody that can actually close DSCR loans. 2, if you've got a very unique deal, let's say you're working with a wholesaler and there's an assignment fee in there. Some DSCR lenders do not allow them or they cap the percentage. So if you've got a very unique situation, ask those questions to make sure that broker lender understands how to close it and which lender they're going to go to. And third, understand the loan process and the flow. How is it going to work on your deal? What are they going to require out of you for documents? And then also time frame to close. Be very specific in what you're trying to ask for, but also understand the broker lender comes back with the information you're looking for. And if there's things that you cannot determine, continue to ask questions. This is your deal. It's your hard-earned money. You need to be educated to make sure that you understand exactly what's going to happen in the loan process and there's no surprises going forward. Especially if you got a unique deal. When you have unique deals, when you submit that packaged underwriting, there should be no surprises that come out of it. It should all be addressed upfront, ready to go, ready to be done. So guys, if you liked this week's video, please subscribe and share. I would be honored. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you guys on the other side. Be blessed.